Good morning, students. This lecture is in the continuation of chapter Alternating Current. Today, we will discuss different types of alternating current circuits. So be attentive. Let us discuss first phase relation between alternating voltage and current. Students, in an alternating current circuit, although the frequency of current and voltage is same, but it is not necessary that voltage and current both are in same phase always. The phase difference between voltage and current depends upon nature of the circuit. In some circuits, current attains its maximum value before voltage becomes maximum, means current leads the voltage in phase. But in some circuits, current attains its maximum value after voltage becomes maximum. It means current lags behind the voltage. So both the situation we will see one by one. See the first case when current and voltage are in same phase. Here the first case I have taken. If alternating voltage and current are in same phase, the instantaneous value of voltage V is equal to V naught sin omega t, and instantaneous current is I is equal to I naught sin omega t, where V naught is the peak value of voltage and I naught is the peak value of current. So variation of voltage and current with omega t is drawn over here. This graph shows the variation of voltage and current with omega t. Look at this graph. This solid line, black line gives the voltage, and broken line, this blue line gives the current. Both voltage and current start from O and both attains their maxima here at the same time, T by 4. Both comes to the minimum reference lines at the same time, T by 2. Then again in the opposite direction, maxima at the same time, and again come to minima at the same time. It means peak of voltage and peak of current both reach to maxima at the same time, both will fall at the reference line at the same time. It means both are in same phase. So this graph shows that alternating voltage and current are in same phase. On the other hand, second, if alternating current leads the voltage in phase by angle phi, then what the situation is? Equation over here. Current leads, voltage lags behind, means voltage V is equal to V naught sin omega t, and current I is equal to I naught sin omega t plus phi, because current leads the voltage. So what is the variation of voltage and current with omega t? Here I have drawn the variation. In this case, current leads, so peak of current will reach its maximum value first, then the voltage, and peak of current will fall on the reference line first, then the voltage. Look at over here, current start earlier, phi angle earlier. So starting from the reference line, the peak of the current falls on the reference line first, then the peak of the voltage falls. Again here, the peak of the current reaches the reference line here first, then the voltage, and it's continued. It means from this variation of voltage and current with omega t, it is quite clear that the current is leading and voltage is lagging behind. So it shows that the current leads the voltage in phase. We can see its opposite case also. Suppose the current lags behind the voltage here. If the current lags behind the voltage by phase angle phi, what the equation is? Voltage is equal to V is equal to V naught sin omega t, but current I is equal to I naught sin omega t minus phi, because current is lagging behind the voltage by angle minus phi. So this time the graph of current will start from negative axis, because the minus phi over here. So here the peak of the voltage will reach its maxima first, fall on the reference line first, and then the current. So look this, from 0 to here voltage reaches maxima first and reach on the reference line first. Then you have started the current from the negative axis. Current reaches to maxima after the voltage and again falls on the reference side after the voltage and continue. So this variation of V and I with omega c shows that current lags behind the voltage in phase, or we can say on the other hand also voltage leads the current in phase by angle phi. So this way 2-3 situations we have seen that how can you draw the variation of voltage and current with omega t when voltage and current are in the same phase and voltage and current are in different phase. Now we will discuss different types of alternating current circuits. So let us take the first circuit, that is AC voltage applied to a resistor. Here is a resistor of resistance R connected with an alternating source of EMF E. So this alternating source will produce one varying alternating voltage across the terminal of this resistance, and then what the current will be in this circuit we shall determine. So consider a resistor R is connected to alternating source E, which produces sinusoidally varying potential difference across its terminals given by V is equal to V naught sine omega t. This sinusoidally varying voltage already we had derived earlier, where V naught is the peak value of the voltage. So this equation 1 gives the sinusoidally varying voltage across the terminals of the resistance R. So then what is the current? Let I be the current in the circuit at any instant of time t, then potential drop across R will be that current I into R. So IR, this can be according to the Kirchhoff's law. So this potential drop IR must be equal to this V. So therefore V is equal to I into R. So at the place of V, from equation 1 we shall put V naught sine omega t. So this equation becomes IR is equal to, at the place of V naught sine omega t. Therefore I is equal to V naught by R sine omega t. This equation 2 gives the current flowing through the resistance R. Then question is, when this current I becomes maximum? I will be maximum when sine omega t is maximum, means its value is equal to 1. So we shall write that one. I will be maximum, that is I naught, when sine omega t is maximum, that is 1. So whenever you require, please must mention this sentence always. So now in equation number 2, at the place of sine omega t put 1, so I will becomes I naught. So at the place of I naught, V naught by R and sine omega t is 1. So this I naught is the maximum or peak value of the current through R. So this equation 3 now put in equation number 2, and the equation 2 takes the form I at the place of V naught by R we can write the I naught and sine omega t. So I is equal to I naught sine omega t. This equation 4 gives the instantaneous value of current flowing through resistor R, when it is connected with the alternating source of EMF E. So now compare this equation 4 with equation number 1. When you are comparing these two, V is equal to V naught sin omega t, I is equal to I naught sin omega t, it is quite clear that this voltage V and current I both are in same phase, because both V and I will be minimum, 0 and maximum at the same time. So here I have written, comparing first and 4, it is clear that alternating voltage and current are in same phase, that is both V and I reach 0, minimum and maximum values at the same time. Now this can be shown with the help of variation of V and I with omega t. So from these relations, V is equal to V naught sin omega t and I is equal to I naught sin omega t, we have come to the conclusion that the AC voltage V and I are in same phase. So the phase relationship between this voltage and the current can be shown graphically like this. Look at over here. Here the variation of V and I with omega t is shown. Starting from the point O, The solid line shows the voltage and broken line shows the current. So from point O, it is quite clear that both voltage and current attains their maximum value at the time t by 4. Then both comes down and reaches to their minimum value at time t by 2. Again, both the voltage and current attains their maximum value in opposite direction at the same time 3t by 4, and both reaches to their minimum value at the time t. So from this variation, it is quite clear that both voltage and current are in same phase. So variation is quite clear, I hope so. Now we shall see the representation of this voltage and current with a phasor diagram. So what is this phasor diagram? Here please pay attention. I have mentioned representation of alternating voltage and current by rotating vectors known as phasor or phasor diagram. How can we define it? The coplanar vectors which represent sinusoidally time varying AC voltage and currents are known as phasors. So phasors, or we can say the phasor diagram also. So here I have drawn the phasor diagram for this voltage and current for this circuit, AC circuit containing R. Look at this. This voltage and current both are represented along the same line. This vector arrow V0 represents the peak value of the voltage and arrow represents the peak value of current. Both are rotating with the same angle omega t. So both are lying in the same line. It means angle for the V0 and the voltage and current are omega t the same. So both are in the same vector, rotating with the same angle, this same velocity omega and same angle omega t. So this diagram represents the phasor diagram for the circuit. Now we will discuss the second circuit, that is AC voltage applied to an inductor. Students, about inductor, easily we know that inductors have appreciable resistance in their windings, but we shall assume this inductor has negligible resistance. Thus, the circuit is purely inductive AC circuit. So let us consider an inductor having self-inductance L is connected to an AC source of EMF here shown in the figure. This is the source of EMF and this is the inductor. So alternating voltage at any instant across the source will be V is equal to V0 sin omega t. We have derived earlier. So here the V0 is called the peak value or maximum value of the alternating voltage. Because the AC current flows through this inductor, so one back EMF minus L di by dt is set up in the inductor because inductor always opposes the source. So what is the net voltage? So net voltage is equal to V and plus this minus L di by dt. So V minus L di by dt. We have assumed that this inductor has no resistance, negligible resistance. So since circuit offers no resistance, therefore this V minus L di by dt is equal to 0. So we'll solve it. V is equal to L di by dt, and this equation can be written in this form. V by L is equal to di by dt. So this equation can also be written like this. Vi is equal to V by L into dt. And here at the place of V, put the value from equation number 1. So it becomes V0 sin omega t by L into dt. So di is equal to V0 sin omega t by L into dt. Now integrate both the sides, because integration of di will give your current I. So here integration of di, left hand side, right hand side also integration of V0 sin omega t by L into dt. So integration of di is I, V0 by L will be taken out, and integration of sin omega t is equal to minus cos omega t by omega, and plus here one constant. So let us discuss first what about this constant. Actually, the applied source is sinusoidal about 0, already mentioned over here. Applied EMF source is sinusoidal about 0. So the current will also be sinusoidal about 0. Hence, this constant will be 0. So at the question number 2, put the constant equal to 0. So this equation becomes I here I is equal to V naught by L cos omega t. V naught by L omega cos omega t. And this V naught by L omega cos omega t can be written in this manner also. V naught by L omega and then minus cos omega t will be sin omega t minus pi by 2, because cos omega t is equal to pi by 2 minus omega t. So this equation 3, I is equal to V naught by L omega sin omega t minus pi by 2 will give the instantaneous value of current. So now when this current I will be maximum, I will be maximum, hence sin omega t minus pi by 2 is maximum. Many times we have written. Again, write like this. This sentence will be always written. I will be maximum, that is I naught. I naught is the maximum value of I. When sin omega t minus pi by 2 is maximum, that is 1. So put this value of 1 here in question number 3, the sin omega t minus pi by 2. So it becomes at the place of I naught, V naught by L omega, and this will be written as 1. So I naught is equal to V naught by L omega. This equation 4. Now put in equation number 3 and what the equation becomes. So equation becomes, we will get I is equal to I naught sin omega t minus pi by 2, because V naught by L omega is equal to I naught. So this equation 5 gives the value of instantaneous current flowing through the inductor which is connected to an AC source of EMF E. So now compare this equation 5 with equation number 1. Here V is equal to V naught sin omega t, and here I is equal to I naught sin omega t minus pi by 2. Minus pi by 2 means we can conclude that comparing first and 5 that this current lags behind the voltage by angle pi by 2. So I mentioned over here that is current lags behind the voltage by phase angle pi by 2. Now we will draw the graph of alternating voltage and current versus omega t, and we will draw phasor diagram for this circuit. It means an inductor connected with an alternating source. Students, from the expression of instantaneous voltage and current, we have seen that current lags behind the voltage by phase angle pi by 2. So here is the phase relationship between voltage and current shown graphically. Look at this graph. Solid line represents the alternating voltage and the broken line represents the alternating current. So from this graph it is quite clear that voltage attains its maximum value or peak value a quarter of cycle earlier than the current. Or we can say this current attains its peak value or maximum value a quarter of cycle later than the voltage. So in simple language also we can say that the peak of voltage falls on reference line earlier than peak of the current. Look this, here the peak of voltage falls over here first, then peak of current falls after that. So in this way we can say that the current lags behind the voltage by angle pi by 2, or voltage leads the current by angle pi by 2. So this is the variation of voltage and current with omega t. I hope it is quite clear. Now look at this phasor diagram. I have drawn the phasor, two phasors I have drawn. This the phasor of voltage and this is the phasor of current. From this graph it is clear that the current lags behind by angle pi by 2. So look this phasor of voltage, this one makes an angle omega t with this x-axis. This line is the x-axis in anti-clockwise direction, and phasor of this current, this one, this line, current makes an angle pi by 2 with phasor of this voltage in clockwise direction. So with this figure it also clear that the current lags behind the voltage by angle pi by 2. So this represents the instantaneous current I naught sine omega t minus pi by 2, and this represents the instantaneous voltage V naught sine omega t. So I hope with this figure the variations of V and I with omega t and phasor diagram for the circuit containing L means inductor with the AC source is clear. Now let us see a term inductive reactance denoted by XL, which comes in this circuit. Students, we know that the maximum value of alternating current I naught is equal to V naught by L omega. We have derived this. If we compare this relation with the relation I is equal to V by R, what can we say? Here, at the place of I naught is I, at the place of V naught is V, at the place of L omega is R. It means this L omega is analogous to R. I have mentioned over here. L omega is analogous to resistance R, and this L omega is called inductive reactance. So we can say that inductive reactance limits the current in a purely inductive circuit in the same way as the resistance limits the current in a purely resistive circuit. So we can say that inductive reactance represents the opposition offered by inductor to flow of AC through it, and it is denoted by XL. So XL is the inductive reactance which opposes the current when AC flows through any inductor. So find the value of this XL. XL is equal to, since L omega, from this relation we can find L omega is equal to V naught by I naught. From here, L omega will go here, so it will come back here. L omega is equal to V naught by I naught, and you know that V naught is equal to under root 2 into Vrms, and I naught is equal to under root 2 into Vrms. So this under root 2 will cancel out. So this XL will be equal to now Vrms by Irms, and this will measures the inductive reactance. So what can you say? Inductive reactance can be measured by the ratio of RMS value of voltage to the corresponding RMS value of the current, and the unit SI unit of the XL is the same as SI unit of resistance, that is ohm. So XL can be measured in the ohm, its SI unit is. Now we'll see the variation of this inductive reactance with the frequency of the AC. Look at over here. Since XL is equal to L omega and omega is equal to 2 pi f, so we can write XL is equal to L into 2 pi f. This L and 2 pi f constant, put it together. So XL is equal to 2 pi L into f. So now this is the constant, so the XL is directly proportional to f. F is the frequency. So inductive reactance directly proportional to frequency of AC means higher is the frequency of AC supply, greater is the inductive reactance. So when you plot a graph for the XL and F, this is the nature of graph. When the two quantities are directly proportional to each other, we know that nature of graph will be a straight line passing through the origin. So here you have along x-axis frequency F, along y-axis the XL. So since XL is directly proportional to F, so nature of graph will be a straight line passing through origin. So this is the all about of the AC voltage applied to an inductor. Now we shall discuss our third circuit. Here is a circuit, and AC voltage applied to a capacitor. In the previous two circuits you have seen AC applied across resistor and AC applied across inductor. So now we will discuss that what happened when AC voltage applied across a capacitor. Here one an ideal capacitor of capacitance C is connected to an alternating source of EMF E. Ideal capacitor connected, so this circuit is known as the purely capacitive AC circuit. So let us assume that Suppose an ideal capacitor is connected to an alternating source of EMF E. It will generate IC voltage V is equal to V naught sine omega t. Already we have read this in both the previous cases, where V naught is the maximum or peak value of voltage. So this V is equal to V naught sine omega t is called the instantaneous voltage generated by the source in the capacitor. Student, due to this source, current flows in the circuit and charge on the plates of capacitor varies sinusoidally with time. So let us assume that at any instant of time t, charge on capacitor is Q here at this capacitor, because this source of EMF will charge the capacitor. So at any instant time the charge on capacitor is Q. So we know that Q is equal to C into V, where C is the capacitance of this capacitor. At the place of V, I have written from equation number 1 V naught sine omega t. Why I have written at the place of V naught sine omega t? Because from the Kirchhoff's rule we know that, Kirchhoff's rule means Kirchhoff's second rule, we know that the voltage across the source and capacitors are equal. So at the place of V, this voltage across the capacitor must be equal to voltage across the source. So equation becomes Q is equal to C V naught sine omega t. But the current in the circuit is required. So you know that I is equal to dq by dt. So find the current by differentiating this. So current I is equal to dq by dt. At the place of Q, put over here C V naught sine omega t. Already we have written. Then C is the capacitance constant. V naught is the maximum value of voltage, also constant. It will be taken out. C V naught. So d by dt sine omega t will be differentiated. And when differentiate this, C V naught as it is, differentiation of sine omega t is cos omega t. And again when omega t is differentiated, it becomes omega. So our current becomes I is equal to here C into omega C omega, and V naught as it is V naught, C omega and V naught, C and V omega are written together. It gives something V naught cos omega t. And I can use the relation this cos omega t is equal to sin omega t plus pi by 2. So we convert it in the sine also. So here the C omega into V naught and cos omega t can be written as in this form, sin omega t plus pi by 2. Now this equation can be written in other shape also. Here V naught and C omega can be written as 1 by C omega. So there is no change, the value remains the same because C omega can go up. And here is the sin omega t plus pi by 2. So here I have got the final result is, final equation, I is equals to V naught by 1 by C omega sin omega t plus pi by 2, this equation 2. And this expression 2 gives the instantaneous value of current I flowing through the capacitor when AC is connected with this. So students, many times we have discussed that when this current I becomes maximum, this current I becomes maximum, it depends upon the value of sine. It can only be possible when sine omega t plus pi by 2 is maximum, that is 1. So I have mentioned over here, and every time you have to mention this. I will be maximum, I mean the current will be maximum, that is I naught. I naught is the peak value or maximum value. If sine omega t plus pi by 2, this one is maximum, that is 1. It means this sine angle should be 90 degree is equal to 1. So at the place of I is equal to put to I naught maximum value, and here is sine omega t plus pi by 2 is equal to 1, then I becomes I naught. So I naught is equal to V naught by 1 by C omega, and here put it 1. So this expression 3 gives the value of maximum value of instantaneous current or peak value of instantaneous current. Put this equation number 3 in equation number 2. What the result is? Putting this into, we get I is equal to, at the place of this one, V naught by 1 by C omega, here we can put I naught and sin omega t plus pi by 2 as it is. So I is equal to I naught sin omega t plus pi by 2, where I naught is the peak value of current. This equation 4 gives the instantaneous value of current flowing through the capacitor C when it is connected with alternating source of EMF E. So students, now compare this equation 4 with equation number 1. Compare these two. V is equal to V naught sin omega t and I is equal to I naught sin omega t plus pi by 2. What can we say? Look this here. In sin omega t plus pi by 2 added. It means by comparing these two we can say that in a purely capacitive AC circuit, in this circuit, purely capacitive AC circuit, current leads the voltage by phase angle pi by 2, or in other words also we can say voltage lags behind the current by phase angle pi by 2. Now we will draw the graph of alternating voltage and current versus omega t for this circuit and phasor diagram for this circuit. Here the graph is drawn. Students, from the expressions of instantaneous voltage and current, we have seen that the current leads the voltage by phase angle pi by 2. So look at in this graph. In this graph, the current attains its maximum value quarter of cycle earlier than the voltage. In other words, we can say the peak of current falls on the reference line earlier than the peak of the voltage. And because we have drawn 2 times this graph earlier, so I don't think no need to explain more in this graph. So this explains the variation of voltage and current versus omega t, in which it is quite clear the current leads the voltage by phase angle pi by 2. And this is the phasor diagram for this circuit. Look at the phasor diagram. This is the phasor of voltage and this is the phasor of current. The phasor of voltage makes an angle omega t with x-axis in anti-clockwise direction, and the phasor of current makes an angle pi by 2 in anti-clockwise direction with the phasor of this voltage. So from this phasor it also clear that the current leads the voltage by angle pi by 2. So I hope this graph of V and I versus omega t and phasor diagram of this circuit is clear. Now we shall discuss the term capacitive reactance of this circuit. We have seen that the maximum value of alternating current I naught is equal to V naught by 1 by C omega. If this relation is compared with the ohmic relation I naught is equal to V naught by R, we can say that this factor 1 by C omega is analogous to R. So we can say that the factor 1 by C omega is effective resistance or opposition offered by capacitor to flow of AC through it, and this is known as capacitive reactance denoted by Xc. So this Xc is equal to 1 by C omega. Because this Xc is analogous to R, so its unit is the same as the resistance ohm. So SI unit of Xc is ohm. Now we will see the relation between the Xc and the frequency of the AC circuit. Since Xc is equal to 1 by C omega, put the value of omega 2 pi f. So with this relation X is equal to 1 by 2 pi C 1 by f, we can say for AC circuit Xc is inversely proportional to f because this quantity is constant one. So capacitive reactance is inversely proportional to frequency. This is for AC. And for DC, because frequency is 0, so then this Xc is equal to infinity. Now we shall draw the graph for Xc and F. It means capacitive reactance and the frequency of this AC circuit. And this is the graph. From this graph it is quite clear, as the capacitive reactance decreases, frequency increases, and this shows that for the AC, the Xc or capacitive reactance is inversely proportional to frequency. So students, with this we have completed all the 3 different types of AC circuits. In next lecture, we shall deal with few other AC circuits. So thank you.